Welcome back to the Sun Truthers, and today we will be talking about the supposed sun.
First off, I want to state an obvious truth. The sun is not a sphere, but a garden gnome shape.
The sun actually has no distinct mass or volume because it simply isn't real.
It's definitely real. I can see it with my own eyeball. Those are lies perpetrated by anti-gnomists trying to promote their tallest agenda.
What you're actually seeing is the lies of the known government cult, NASA. The imposter sun we are manipulated into knowing is projected into the sky to maintain control over the population.
NASA is definitely a cult. I mean, it even has the same hierarchy structure. And Bill Nelson, the leader of NASA, looks identical to Marshall Applewhite, who was the leader of Heaven's Gate, which is a UFO-based cult. And I mean, they smile the same. But for real, the sun has to be real because the Earth is warm. And how do you explain sunburns?
The Earth is obviously warm because of the hot core which radiates up to the surface like a baseboard heater. Obviously. Sunburns, however, are caused by the radio waves and glare produced from the government drones that are, more commonly known as birds.
Okay, so if the sun isn't real, even though it's shaped like a garden gnome, then what is the moon?
You mean just another government scam? The idea of the moon was invented to distract us from the fact that werewolves do indeed exist and are trying to get the nuclear codes. But they don't want you knowing that. Twilight, actually, was based on true story, now that we bring it up.
The government is such a dirty bag of beans. You're telling me that Twilight is a true story? We need to hear straight from a live source. We have an industry professional here with us today. Audrey, please enlighten us. Is Twilight a true story?
Thank you for having me. I'll cut right to the chase. What is there not to believe, Loka? Now let me get this straight. I don't believe that the people dressing up as vampires on TikTok are quote-unquote vampires. I believe in the facts. I believe in the author of Twilight. Without them, what would I believe in? I mean, do we know gravity's real? Do we know the moon's real? I don't know, but I know Twilight's real.
Speaking of Twilight, after the twilight glow and the supposed sun sets behind the horizon, we can see the stars. Do you think that the stars are real?
Well, of course not. The light we see from stars is not a silly ball of gas, but the light from beyond us. Those stars are simply holes in the container that we're kept in, so we can breathe.
So let me get this straight. Are you telling me that stars and space are not real?
That's what I've been getting at this whole time. Even the engineer Tristan Cleef said himself, space isn't a thing. And you know what else? You know what else? The Earth is flat.
You know what? Let's get a professional in here to tell us the truth, and only the truth about the Earth. welcome to the podcast. Please enlighten us about the Earth.
Hello, I'm Owen Spafford, and today I'm going to talk about flat Earth. So, let me tell you, I didn't do any research to get into this position, but I did watch 2 hours of videos, YouTube videos last night, so I know what I'm talking about. So, the Earth is flat. We can establish that. The day and night cycle, you might ask. So many of you are wondering how that may work. Well, if the one side of the Earth is in daytime, how does nighttime appear? Well, essentially the disk that we are on and that we live on, the Earth just flips like a coin every time it turns to night. I will say the only downside of living on this plane, on this disk that we live on that's flying through space, is that we only live on one side. If we were to live on two sides, if that's even real, then we could put a piece of bread on the ground on one side, a piece of bread on the ground on the other side, and we can make an Earth sandwich. And since the Earth is flat, which has been proven before, scientists will get around to proving it. Lastly, I would like to conclude that if the Earth isn't flat, then I would be wrong and I'm never wrong. Thank you.
You heard it here, folks. The Earth is a sandwich. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sun Truthers. Next time, we will be discussing the God-Gnome liberation and answering the question, where did the 2016 clowns go?
The sun isn't real! Space is a lie! Birds are government drones! The Earth is a sandwich! Good night, everybody.